Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. So today we're going to do, I'm going to present a little bit on colonialism, and this is a precursor to coloniality. So the first sort of one of the building blocks in the curriculum for the class is colonialism. So what are your thoughts about colonialism? So what do you know?
Everyone's colonized in the world.
Okay, that's a good point. Anything on colonialism on your end? What do you know about colonialism itself?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, here's so I'm going to diagram sort of an outline of colonialism, and it's basically when another country or power another nation state enters other territory, right? And so, and the one thing about colonialism is that a few basic things that we need to keep in mind is one, is that country, power, or nation state is actually looking for land and resources. And then part of this to keep in mind also is that it does this through either coercion, displacement, and appropriation. And then this sort of sets up the concept of the other. And the other actually is what you look at from the new country or power, that state becomes that a system or a way of looking at the world of everything else. And so the creation of the other, basically the new colonial power then begins to not only attain land through coercion, displacement, or appropriation, and there's also the one thing that we have to keep in mind also is that all these things, the land also can be taken through genocide as another major element. But then this becomes, this center here becomes what is normal. And then, like I said, then the other. So what tends to happen is that what begins to become normalized is the other foreign power, nation state. They start looking at and either looking at language, taking away language, or subjugating one language for the other, the religion, historical narratives, education, the culture itself, governance, forms of beauty, and dress. So what ends up happening is that all of these basic ways of society they become the other. And then whatever this nation, this power, this country, this nation states, sense and perspective of reality, then surplants all of that. So all of this basically then becomes unimportant, becomes secondary, it becomes the other. So colonialism, the basic elements of colonialism is somewhat the structure. And you can see how, for example, in the Americas, the Spanish, when they came in to the Americas and Mexico or the Caribbean, these were the things that they were looking for, and then slowly started looking at ways of coercion, getting other different tribes or different communities, indigenous communities, to be part of not only displacement but also the appropriation, working with this new entity, this new power, to then force others to be displaced, to be appropriated, and or even joining into parts of genocide too. So many folks don't realize this, but the Americas was not necessarily conquered solely by the Spanish, but it was also other indigenous people being part of this process of coercion to dominate and force other peoples to begin looking at what is normal, which is in this case, the Spanish colonial rule. So that, in a nutshell, is a little bit of what we'll be talking about this semester, but we'll be looking at how the coercion, displacement, appropriation, and genocide takes place more in detail, and we'll be looking and exploring how that was done through in the sense of language, religion, how the historical narratives get changed, etc.
Cool. So is there
Thank you.